All right, I'm speaking with Laurie Guest. It is September 29th. All right, so the first is, can you give me an elevator pitch of your business?
Yes, I am a professional speaker and trainer, and I help people to attract and keep new customers.
Okay. Do you primarily focus on an industry or across industry?
Across industry.
Okay. But I understand you are thinking about focusing on a specific industry. Is that correct or no?
No, I started out in healthcare because that was my background, but then I quickly spread to adjacent industries. So I spend a lot of time in banking and financials, insurance, so I jump around. I spoke 3 times this week to 3 different industries. So
but I thought when we talked...
definitely horizontal, not vertical.
I thought when we talked a couple of weeks ago, you were thinking about focusing. Did I misunderstand?
Focusing my customer service, my topic, not my industry.
Okay.
So
All right.
I see myself, rather than being vertical, where I'm only in ophthalmology, and I teach them everything they could possibly know in that world, I choose horizontal. So it's motivational keynotes, but it's horizontally across whatever industry fits my criteria.
Perfect. All right. So now if you think of a pie chart of your revenue, what percent is keynotes, training, workshop, consulting, products, etc.?
Last year, 81% was keynoting, and the balance, well, there's a little bit of product in there, but most, I would say 80-20. 80% keynoting, 20% something else, which in my case would be training, my secret shopping services, anything that's not keynoting is 20%.
Can you break down the 20?
I can. You want them detailed?
Yeah, like what percent is consulting, what percent is...
Okay, I don't do any consulting, I don't do any coaching. So the 20% would be workshop-based, which I differentiate from keynoting. So let's define that for a second. For me, keynoting means one-on-many. I'm standing up in front of a large crowd, I'm talking, they're listening. That's what I call a keynote. Okay? Workshop, to me, I did one of those this week where it's more like they're at a U-shaped table, writing things down and interacting with me, and it's as much audience-led as it is me talking at them. That's how I differentiate those two. So my 20% that is not keynoting is going to be workshop, secret shopping services, which means we go out and pretend to be a customer, and then I give report of findings back to the bosses or board of directors or whoever it might be, and then we have some product sale mixed in there. So my online learning programs, which are just barely, I'm just barely ramping those up. I'm in the baby stage of that, and book sales.
So what?
All that stuff in the 20%.
So of the 20, do you know what percent is your secret shopping?
Educated guess is going to be 10%.
Okay, and then 10% workshops?
Correct.
So wouldn't you call secret shopping consulting?
I wouldn't, only because I'm not really... well, that's a good question. To me, consulting is, on a regular basis, I'm going back and meeting with you and helping you navigate through an issue. So, I would consider that going deep, being a part of their team, where when I do secret shopping, it's still get in, get out, get paid. I go shop them, I give them the reports, I give them recommendations, but then I walk away. There is no long-term relationship between me and my clients.
Yeah, I still think secret shopping is more consulting. It's like you do some research.
If you have to put it in a cubbyhole to make it work, that is the cubbyhole of a blog in.
Okay.
Consulting.
All right. So I'm going to just read this next part. So we're trying to study best practice defined as having a CSP and a full-time speaking business whose revenue over 3 of the last 5 years exceeds $100,000 per year gross. Does that describe your business?
Yes.
Okay. Did your revenue from your speaking business during any of the last 10 years exceed $250K gross?
Maybe. I have to look back. 1 year it might have.
Okay.
But in general, I would say no, it didn't. It's just bumping up against that.
Okay. So now, when did you do your first paid or unpaid speech?
What year?
What year?
1989.
Okay. Was that paid or unpaid?
As part of a corporate job, so we'll call it salary paid. I don't know if you have a category for that, but I was not paid extra to do it. So if I had to choose, it'd be unpaid.
It's okay. I got it.
Okay.
And So how long were you speaking as part of your job? Was that just part of your job? Did it evolve into your job?
It was part of my job, and I did it from 89 to 2001 when I left the company.
Okay, all right. And then in 2001, did you start your company or did you start it before then?
I started it before, so I did a dual career, which I think is the smartest move to do. As a matter of fact, I started my business in 96. So from 89 to 91, I spoke as part of my corporate job. And then starting in 96, I started my own company and would do both at the same time, and then left my job in 2001. So from 96 to 2001, I was dual careered.
And how did you do that? How were you able to have a day job and a speaking job?
Yeah, I had the luxury of my bosses were extremely flexible. So if I worked a really long week because we had a special event of some kind, I was able to take that as comp time. So my shorter answer would be vacation time, comp time, and then eventually I went part-time. When I had enough bookings in my real business, in my speaking business, what year did I do that? About 99, 99, I went and asked if I could go to 20 hours a week, and they said yes. So I basically phased out my corporate job while I ramped up my speaking job. And then once I had, this may be too much detail, but I'll tell you.
No, it's not.
I had a year's worth of income in the bank at my corporate salary. When I had a year's worth of income in the bank and 6 months worth of bookings, my level of bookings at that time, on the books, that's when I let go of my real job. Because I knew I could probably support myself for a year and a half and never have to get another booking.
Plus 6 months of booking income.
And that's a relative term. I mean, I think at the time, 6 months of bookings meant one a week. You know, it wasn't like I was doing 250. You know, I mean, it was, what I felt. I don't remember the numbers. I'd have to look it up. But
that's okay.
I felt it was enough of a speaking schedule to believe that I had a business.
Okay, all right. And then, so when did you get your first speaking job outside your corporate job?
Thinking. Let's see, 89.
You're a pleasure to talk to, just in general. I love you.
Because I know my numbers, right? A lot of people know their numbers.
I just love you. I hope you know that.
I do know that.
Good.
It's so funny. Chance meeting, long-time friendship.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So while I was working at the eye care place, my real job, the deal I made with them was if I spoke inside Illinois, it was part of my real job. But if I was able to get a job in that industry, but it was outside our market, so outside of Illinois, they were okay with me getting paid for it, and they said yes. So then when I think about the first time I got a real check, I was still at my regular job. So that's what you're asking is, when did I get taxable income outside my salary for speaking?
No, I don't think so. I think what I'm asking is, you had your real job at the ophthalmologist or whatever, the eye place. And so you were doing, what were you doing at the eye place?
So I was in charge of our referral program. So all the ODs, the eye doctors who referred to us, my job was to keep them happy. So it was called an optometric liaison. And as part of that job, I would do speaking. So I would go out, we would host education events where they'd bring in their team and we would teach them how to do better customer service, blah, blah, blah. So my job there was probably at least 20% speaking and then 80% other stuff you don't care about.
So you were already doing. Go ahead, sorry.
The first time I was given a check in my name that had nothing to do with the eye care place, it was in the same industry, but I was able to keep all of that money. That to me is my first pay. In fact, I have a picture of it somewhere in my files. That's what I consider my first paycheck for speaking, and that would have been in 2000.
And how did you get that?
Right. Hold on. Oh, that's not right. Because this is only 2017, not 2000.
Yeah, it should have been near...
1989. What comes after 1989? 1989 becomes... I'm so sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
That's good. I take back what I was thinking, that you're so bright.
Sorry.
1990.
1990. I got my numbers mixed up.
That's okay.
I got my first paycheck in 1990 for speaking.
So wait a minute, hold on. So you started, wait a minute, I'm getting this lost.
Yeah.
When did you start your business?
In
1996.
1996. Right. But I was getting paid to speak before I actually started a business, where I would call it, I have a business. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't find me online. Yes, I got paid to speak, but you couldn't have found me. It wasn't a real business.
So in 1996 or 1997, did you have any of your own speaking gigs outside your vision thing?
That's when I had enough jobs that I could call it a business. So in other words, I was speaking for money prior to finding the National Speakers Association. So I joined them in 97. And I already had a business before I joined them.
Okay, so let's go back to 1996. When did you get, what was that job, that external speaking job that you got money for, the check?
Okay, what was it?
Well, I mean, not really, but it was when was it? Let's start there. 1996, right?
No, 1990. So I bet that's why you're confused. Because I was I had my corporate job, 89.
Yeah.
Speaking in 89, and not getting any money for it.
Right.
In 1990, I was paid my first check to speak that had nothing to do with my real job. But I didn't have a speaking business yet. So in other words, an optometric association in Indiana called and asked if I would come speak. This has nothing to do with my job. Same industry, but nothing to do with my corporate job. So my boss isn't going to pay me to go because there's no benefit. So I go to my boss and I say, can I go to Indiana and give this speech to their association? And he said, sure, knock yourself out. And they paid me $1,000 to do that. So my first check, gross income that had nothing to do with my job, was in 1990.
But you didn't start your business formally till 1996.
Is correct. So from 1990 to 1996, I kept my real job and just looked for opportunities to speak. But I didn't have a business card. I didn't have a business name. I didn't have a website. I wouldn't consider myself in business. I was sort of like, almost like babysitting money. I was looking for opportunities to speak and get paid for it. So I think I spoke at our Rotary Club and I spoke at our chamber. I did all that kind of stuff. But I would not consider myself in business because I didn't even have a phone number that was connected to a business. You know what I mean? So I think it would be a lie to say that I started my business in 1990 because you couldn't find any record of that anywhere. The first time that my business appears anywhere in the world is 1996. Okay,
so hold on. So let me go back to this time frame between 1990 and 1996.
Yeah, that's the part you're struggling with.
Yeah, so there you were testing the waters.
Correct. Not brave enough to leave my real job because I had no idea what speaking for a living meant. I didn't even know you could do that.
And did you get your first? Okay, so the first paid speaking job was 1990.
For $1,000.
When was your second paid speaking job?
That same year, I did 3 little tiny things that were like nominal, like $25, $50, like that kind of crap. I did 3 of those that year for a total of 4 bookings in 1990.
So, okay, those were very low,
nothing, basically free.
Low
Just
fee.
me figuring out how does one speak in front of a crowd. Consider it a Rotary booking. That's kind of the style it was.
And then in 1991, then were you still doing the Rotary circuit?
Yeah, from 1990 to 1996. I was doing nothing notable. I mean, I might speak 3-4 times a year in these little situations, like a free women's leadership event, or nothing that you would consider being in business. That's why I'm saying I wasn't really in business. I didn't even know there was a business to be in. I was getting paid, like I say, it almost feels like babysitting money. I go and do something for you, and you hand me a little bit of money. It never occurred to me that there was actually a business to go with this.
And I just want to be clear on the very little money. We're talking, because I can't really mention the money in the report.
Yeah.
So we're going to call this...
I would call it honorarium. I think everybody in our industry understands honorarium means, a chicken dinner and a small check.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now in 1996,
Yeah.
you are ready to... You're still... Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You're still working for the other company.
Correct.
And then, so now, how did what you did change from 95 to 96?
I spoke at an I-meeting for my real job, and Glenna Salisbury was there, who was the incoming president of National Speakers Association. I saw her speak. I thought she was phenomenal. The crowd loved her. So I went up and asked her, what's her deal? And she told me she was the incoming president. I didn't even know NSA existed. And so I said, I think I want to do what you do. And she said, well, let me show you the way. And so the summer of 97, I went to my first NSA meeting, and I found out that you could make a living doing this. So the answer to your question is, what did I do? I had a pivot moment where I was exposed to the fact that you could do this for a living. So I sat down and mapped out how I was going to do that and started charging. I didn't even know I could charge. So I went from honorarium to a real fee in 97. So from 97 to 2001, I had a real business where I was speaking for money and growing my business at the same time that I kept my corporate job. That's the part we already talked about, where I started to phase out the number of hours I was working at my real job.
Okay, so then when did you get your first real fee job after the association?
Ooh, good question. I have that written down. Hold on. I have a complete year-by-year journal. That's why I know all this stuff.
I'll tell you what, before you do that, let me just ask you about this plan you created.
Yeah.
You want to tell me a little about that plan?
Yeah, so I left the NSA meeting in Anaheim, and Tom and I went out to Big Sur for a couple days because we were out there on vacation in the first place. And I sat down on the beach and I mapped out a 1, 5, 10, and 20-year plan for what a speaking business should look like, knowing nothing. I mean, I'm pulling this stuff out of my ass. I'm just making it up as I go. But I was given enough resource tools at the convention for me to understand what it would look like to try and build a business. And so I am just now at the end of the original 20-year plan. This is my 20-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
So I'm just now, that plan had to grow and change as I got smarter, right? And as the industry changed. Keep in mind, when I came into this, websites didn't even exist. Right, we were doing one-sheets and mailing out speaker packets, so I had to keep changing my market plan. But the interesting part of the story is that I mapped it out pretty early on.
So this 1 year, 5 year plan, like what did it say?
Well, there were things on there that, and in fact, I probably have the original thing I started with. Is there was another speaker who spoke. Her name's Patty Hathaway, and she spoke and had here's the things that at the first level of speaking. For example, by today's standards, if you're just getting started, you're going to have a website. You're going to have a business card. You're going to have a business name. There were bullets of things you had to do. Then when you're ready for the next level, then it's you need a professionally made demo video. And then you needed this. And then it was bullets of things you need. And I distinctly remember the third level of growing as a speaker was you had to have a book. And I clearly remember thinking, well, I'm never going to have a book. I'll probably have to skip over that step, right? So, excuse me.
Careful.
So it was that kind of, when I say market plan, I think it was more like a milestone list would be basically how I would describe it. To get to the next level, these are the things you're going to have to complete. And what's interesting about this is looking back at it now, she was absolutely right. If I today want to get to the next level in my speaking career, I'm going to have to do some things I don't really want to do. Like I need a business book, not just a soft, touchy-feely book. I'm going to need to have some social media footprint, even though I don't care about it. I might have to try and get some media coverage.
Okay, so hold on. Let me back up. So if you were going to create this milestone list today,
yeah,
what would it be?
What would be on it?
What would be the first level, the second level, the third level?
Well, to me, the first, well, I'm making this stuff off the top of my head now. I don't have this written down, but in my first level, if I was coaching you to be a new speaker,
Yep.
work your way to CSP at the level you're interviewing, step number one is going to be establish your brand. It's going to be who are you speaking to, what are you speaking on, what does that look like? So the bare minimum is going to be a website and a first level demo video. If you don't have those two things, it's going to be hard to be in business.
Now, when you said who, what did you say? Who, what, and...
Who are you going to speak to, and what are you going to speak on? See, a lot of speakers I talk to have no clue. They know they want to speak, but when you ask them, like I met a guy yesterday at the NSA Illinois chapter, and he goes, "Well, I really like talking about suicide prevention." Okay, and who are you gonna do that for? Well, I don't know.
Okay, I'm
You know what I'm
100%
saying?
with you. Okay, second level.
Yes, the second level is going to be probably establishing a solid fee structure, like knowing what you're charging and what you'll say no to. That's what I mean by that. A solid fee structure, a better demo video. You're going to have to take it up a notch and go from the homemade video you made because it's all you could afford to a professionally done one. Professional collateral material, and what I mean by that is your handouts, your workbooks, your whatever it is, and you're probably going to have to start some basic online presence. So you're going to have either a corporate Facebook page or Instagram. You're going to have some way for people to see you digitally, and that's what's really changed about this business. That was a non-factor when I started, and now it's huge.
Okay, third level.
Third level is going to have to be a book. No, is this third level? Fourth level is book. What would I consider third level? Well, it doesn't really matter whether it's third or fourth. At some point you have to, and people will disagree, but at some point you have to have a reason people are searching for you.
Wait, well, hold on. Let me just go back. So now you at the second level, you've figured out what you're going to charge.
Right.
You got the better demo video that's professionally done,
Right.
professional handout and workbook, corporate Facebook and Instagram. Okay?
So those are just examples.
Yeah.
And they have
Okay.
to be that, but you have to decide what they are and do them. You can't, you're going to have some kind of social proof, some kind of social footprint.
Okay, so then what's the next level?
I think the next level up is going to have to be probably speakers bureaus. If that's the route you're going. If you're a keynoter, you're probably going to check out bureaus. You're going to have a book, or at the very least, regular blogs, articles. The written word is what I'd call it.
Okay, or articles.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that level?
Not that comes to mind off the top of my head.
Okay. You got a fourth level?
I probably should, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Where would I be going next? I suppose some name recognition. What do you have to do for the name recognition so that your industry is going, hey, Gary's the one that we want?
Maybe you have to be writing for the journals in that field?
Possibly. I think it's just more, I can't say specifically because it depends on who you are and who you're talking to and what you're talking about. But it's all about expanding the recognition in whatever way you're going to do that. I do think that when I look at people who are ahead of me on the path, for me it comes down to media exposure. That there are people that are constantly being interviewed, or you'll see them quoted here or quoted there, or they're making the top 10 list of this or that. It's that kind of stuff that I have not done in my career.
Okay. You got another level after that?
No, not off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. That was very helpful.
Your original question to me was, what was my next check after that $1,000 one?
Okay.
Okay, so my record here in front of me says, in 1999, what year did I tell you I got
Yeah,
$1,000
that's
check?
what I was just looking at. Let me see here. So that was 1990.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so my history is, hey, I was pretty close. 89, I started speaking to the general public through my job, which is what I told you.
Yeah.
91, I began branching out. And then I had nominal stuff until, I'm looking for my first big check here and see how close I was.
It doesn't have to be a big check.
Right. Hold on. Looking for a particular thing here. Oh, interesting. In 99, I grossed $11,000 and spoke to 1,800 people. Oh, that's interesting. I did 27 gigs in 99.
Wait a minute. 11,000, 29 gigs?
27.
27.
27 gigs in 99 for $11,000. Yikes. That's $782 a gig.
Okay.
Average.
All right, so then going back to 1989...
That was part of my job.
So you didn't have any... You went from 0 to 11,000.
Yep.
And how did you do that?
Chase down organizations that I thought might want to have me speak.
And how did you do that?
Well, I already was in a niche industry, so again, I was in optometry and ophthalmology, so every state has an optometric association that hires speakers. So I sent out 36 letters to the states where I wanted to speak and just started asking them if they wanted me, because I already had name recognition. We were extremely well known in this industry, so it wasn't very hard to get a couple paying jobs because people wanted to know our secrets. So the answer is, I tell people this all the time, I started in my Circle 100 where I already had influence, and I chased people who had money and wanted speakers inside my circle of influence. I didn't jump over to the insurance industry. I stayed in my own niche.
Okay. All right. And what did the letter say, approximately?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, basically it was, hey, are you needing a great speaker for your next convention type of thing? Hey, are you needing this? I can be your solution. And then it had my accolades in there. So, this organization I worked with is, kind of the echelon of places to be. They're like the Mayo Clinic of eye care at this point in time.
Yeah.
So just dropping the name gave me credibility.
No, that's great. Okay. I just want to skip to a question that I want to make sure I ask.
Okay.
And that is, when you gave your first... Was it a breakout, or was it on the main stage at NSA where you wrote those personal letters? What was that, a breakout or the main stage?
Good question again. When I got the response to the 36...
Sorry. I'm skipping at a different place.
Okay.
And that is, I remember in one of the talks that I attended, you said that you wrote personal notes or something to the people in NSA to attend your session at NSA. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was my first breakout. Okay, so we're switching total gears here.
Total.
Yes, that was when I did my first breakout at NSA.
What year was that?
2013 in Philly.
Okay. And what did you do again for that?
I sent, I don't know how many, I'm making this number up now, 50. I mean, it wasn't 1,000 and it wasn't 3. So, I mean, it was, several dozen handwritten notes to people that I knew. So, like, let's say you and I are already familiar with each other. I would write you a note that says, hey, Gary, in case you don't see it in the brochure, I'm giving a program at 2 p.m. on Sunday at Influence called 93 Ways to Get Booked and Get Paid. If that sounds good to you, I hope you'll come and fill the room. I remember one of my lines was, I don't want to embarrass myself by I don't want to be standing alone in a ballroom. Please consider hanging out with me. Something like that. And so what happened is that if you didn't care about my topics, I don't think you felt obligated to come. But if you had a relationship with me and you liked my topic, well, then you said, hey, I'm going to go see Laurie. So my room was overflowing. We had to bring in extra chairs. And I had never spoken at conference before.
So I thought the story was a tiny bit better than 50.
I don't remember what it was. I know it wasn't 1,000. It was a lot, but it was not. I didn't write to every single person. I only wrote to people I already knew. So it couldn't have been. I mean, it'd have to be. I don't know. I really don't remember what the number is. Did I give it a number when I was reporting it out?
Well, I thought it was a heck of a lot more than 50.
Okay, I think